slowly and slowly we're getting back and making, as Deacon Miller put it in one of his RCIA classes a few years ago, it's like we're in a circle, and is Jesus in the middle of the circle, or are we in the middle of the circle? And that's something always to keep in mind. What are we doing every day? My name is Larry Greer, and we joined the parish. My family joined the parish probably 1965, early 66. We moved to South Bend in the mid-60s and lived on the south side and attended another parish. And we moved up here to the northeast side in 65, 66, and at the time, St. Anthony's was our neighborhood parish, so we joined. At the time, I was in high school, so I did not have the opportunity to attend the school, but my three sibs all attended St. Anthony's. From first grade, maybe one of them. You're stretching your memory there. I was a member of the parish from that time through mid-70s, when I went off to Michigan to go to grad school. I was in Michigan for 5 years, member of a couple of parishes there. They're nice parishes, friendly places, but they never really felt like home. I moved back to South Bend in the early 80s and joined up again to St. Anthony's. This was a home parish. Always felt home. I can't tell you what it was. It's one of those intangible things. You can't describe it, but you know when you see it, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. My family's had a fairly long relationship with the parish on all sorts of grounds. My mother started as a volunteer in the school office when we joined the parish in the late 60s. She was a school secretary for, I guess, about 40 years. My wife, before I met her, was a teacher here and taught here for a couple of years after we were married. Led to some confusion at the school, I think, because my wife's name is Ann, and she was teaching. My mother's name is Ann, and she was school secretary, so it was sometimes interesting when they got a call for an Ann as to which one you want. Involvement with the parish has been a lot of different areas over time. I helped coach my kids in their sports teams here. Been a member of the Parish Finance Council for a number of years, although not real recently. Various parish missions, all kinds of bits and pieces along the way. It's kind of go back to so many pieces, it's hard to pick them all out and try to give you a CV on them. Well, I had a fairly good reputation for the school. It seemed to have a real good draw from all sorts of parts of the community. And I've kind of lost touch with the day-to-day kind of things at the school since my kids have moved on. But from all appearances, they've continued on with their excellence in education and trying to help kids form a good spiritual basis. I did. My daughter played basketball for junior high, so we were coaching there. And the ICCO program was real robust. I remember many very long Sunday afternoons in the gym for either volleyball matches or basketball games. And again, I've lost track of how active it is now, but I have to assume it still continues on in full bore. What's interesting, for a long time, sitting in Mass on Sunday, it's like, how can I be more involved? What can I do? And it's like, well, it's fairly intimidating to stand up in front of a group of people and read. But I've slipped into the role of elector the last couple of years, and it's been surprisingly rewarding. It's nowhere near as intimidating as I thought it might be. And the helps, the preparation for it, really gives you a lot of insight into the readings for that Sunday, and put that in context of kind of a bigger picture of what's going on in the church as a whole. Part of it was just getting more comfortable doing it. In my day job, I often have occasions to get up and talk in front of a group. And on one hand, it's not something that comes naturally to me. On the other hand, if I feel there's an important message to convey, and I've got something to say, that it's not quite anywhere near as intimidating.
What?
Well, there are a lot of extraneous factors that have some bearing on this. Because of my employment situation, I tend to want to keep a very low profile as far as public involvement. I have some very severe regulations that I have to be careful of. So I'm, on the one hand, I'm trying to walk that tightrope, at the same time wanting to really be part of the life of the community. Well, it's something that grows, from day to day. I find more and more that where I've been, what I've done, the experiences I've had, have really not been my own doing. There's been some guiding hand there that's far greater than me. And I don't know if I would have been aware of that, apart from the formation and the instruction and the really thoughtful comments during Mass during the homily. There's always something to think about, and I'm regularly taken aback because I feel like whatever the message is for that particular day, there's always something that just, really, speaking to me personally, something that I'm involved in that really hits home. I think there's a great reluctance, we in the grand we have about reaching out of our comfort zone to stepping out and doing a little bit more than, we've done in the past. And it was kind of an eye-opener to say, whatever we've done, whatever we're doing now, is it really what we need to be doing? Is there just a little bit more? And there was a lot to think about there, a lot to unpack, and I'm still not sure I've got it all unraveled and see how my life plugs into the message. But it was just a dynamic situation, a dynamic experience. He's really good. I've got a long-running project. It's been kind of stop and go over the years, trying to compile some information about the formation of the parish, where we came from, how we got to where we are. I got some information about how things started when we split from St. Monica's, the building of the school, development over the years, trying to gather some biographical information about our pastors. We've had, I think, 9 over the years. And I'm trying to come up with a list of all the associates and assistant priests that have been here over the years, and I'm up to 20 some odd right now, and I'm still not sure I have any accurate count. We had, the school was run initially, was staffed by Sisters of St. Joseph, Third Orders of St. Francis, and that unfortunately came to an end in, I want to say, the late 60s, early 70s, for reasons I could only speculate on, but I think that was a positive experience for the children in school at that time. I know my Catholic school, grade school We always had religious in the classroom, and there was always a little bit more that you got out of the lessons. When they were there, they kind of put, well, you know, I guess the catchphrase now in recent years was WWJD, but that was always there, you know, what are you doing, and, you know, why are you doing this? It's sort of an ongoing thing. It's somewhat time-consuming, and since I'm still working full-time, it's just when I can plug in, you know, an evening or a weekend when we don't have other things going on with the family and such. I've got, it's maybe half, 3/4 done, but I still have still got a lot of legwork to do to put it together. I passed, I think, a couple of portions on the Leslie, several weeks ago, and I think one of them are maybe popped up in the weekly bulletin. Well, you know, it's I guess a combination of both. The way it's packaged right now is could be chapters in a book or small postings on a website or a series of postings. I dug quite deep, and I have sources. Unfortunately, I don't think I can attribute everything to the original across the board, but I'm a firm believer that plagiarism is the highest form of compliment, and I've liberally plagiarized. I'd like to, I guess, add a point here as far as what the parish has done over the years, as it occurs to me now. When we joined, I think the parish was, the census was 1,600 families, quite extensive from here, going out a little bit to the west and then out toward the Granger area, I think is where a lot of the addresses were. Over the years, Pius opened the parish and then the school, and that took a hit on some of the membership. But it seems like things are starting to grow again and come back. One of the things I was really struck by when I started my research when the parish was founded in the late 40s, early 50s, just the variety of groups, Legion of Mary, Rosary Society, Altar Society, you know, St. Vincent, Knights of Columbus, on and on, that was really a really vigorous, vibrant community. And then somewhere along the way, as with a lot of churches in the 60s and the 70s, things kind of, I don't want to say fell apart, but they weren't quite as vigorous as they used to be. And now, slowly we're getting back and making, as Deacon Miller put it in one of his RCIA classes a few years ago, you know, it's like we're in a circle, and, you know, is Jesus in the middle of the circle, or are we in the middle of the circle? And that's something always to keep in mind, you know, what are we doing every day?